God. It was God that gave him this strength. And God gave him one condition. As long as he grew out his hair, see his hair? Yeah? And never cut his hair, he would always be strong. Can you imagine? Yeah? And some of the other things he could do was, he once found the jawbone of a donkey when he was on his way to somewhere. He found the jawbone of a donkey and he destroyed an entire army with the jawbone. Yeah, that's how strong he was. So the secret of Samson's strength was God. It was God that gave him this strength. And God gave him one condition. As long as he grew out his hair, see his hair? Yeah? And never cut his hair, he would always be strong. Sounds easy, doesn't it? Never cut your hair, grow it out. Yeah, so Samson did. So all his life he kept his hair long, and all his life he was very, very strong. Later in his life, he met a woman called Delilah. Delilah had a secret of her own. She was actually working for a group of people called the Philistines. Have you heard of them? Yeah? Okay, so in the Bible, the Philistines are the people that want to bring down Samson. They're his enemies. They don't like that Samson is so strong and so powerful. They think that it's all wrong, yeah? So, in order to take down Samson, they asked Delilah to find out a secret, and they promised her 1,000 pieces of silver if she can tell him, if she can tell the Philistines what makes Samson so strong. Delilah wants that money, and so she decides to figure out what makes Samson strong. So one evening she asks Samson, "Samson, what makes you strong?" Would you tell Delilah if you were Samson? Would you tell her? No, you'd want to keep it to yourself, wouldn't you? Yeah, you'd want to keep your secret to yourself. So Samson lies. Samson tells her that anyone who ties him up with bowstrings will make him weak. Yeah? So Delilah does that. That evening she ties him up with bowstrings and she yells out, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." But Samson isn't weak. He jumps up and he protects himself. So the next day, Delilah asks him again, "Samson, what makes you so strong?" And so Samson again lies to Delilah and says, "If you tie me up with ropes, then I'll become weak." And so Delilah does that. When Samson falls asleep, Delilah wraps him up with ropes and she yells out, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." But again, Samson jumps up, he tears off his ropes. Can you see the picture? He tears off his ropes and he's able to protect himself. Now Delilah's starting to get really annoyed. She's asked him twice and he's lied to him both times. So she asks him one more time. She says, "Samson, what makes you so strong?" Do you think Samson tells her the truth? Nope, he lies again. He says, "If you take my hair and you tie it into fabric, then you'll make me weak, and I'll be as weak as any other man." So Samson falls asleep, and Delilah takes his hair and ties it into fabric, and she yells out, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." But once more, Samson wakes up, he's as strong as ever, and he's able to protect himself. Yeah? Okay, I'd be really annoyed if I was Delilah now. And Delilah is. She's really angry at Samson. She starts begging him to tell her the truth. She's like, "Samson, you've lied to me 3 times. What makes you so strong?" And Samson gives in. He decides to tell her everything, stupidly. And he tells Delilah that the strength he has comes from his hair. And the moment anyone cuts his hair, he'll be as weak as any other person. Now what do you think Delilah does? She cuts off his hair. You'd think Samson would have learned by now, wouldn't you? 3 times she's tried to make him weak. Anyway, Delilah cuts off Samson's hair and she yells out, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." But this time when Samson wakes up, he can't protect himself because he's weak. All his hair is gone. Remember, that was the one condition he had. As long as he had long hair, he would be strong. But he doesn't have hair anymore. So what do the Philistines do? They see that he's weak and they capture him. And they decide to torture him. And one of the things they did is they pull out his eyes. Yeah? So they take out both of Samson's eyes and that leaves him blind. And after they decide, that they've had their fun with him, they decide to take him into a room filled with Philistines, and they say, Samson, you have to entertain us, yeah? This is what you're going to do before we decide what to do with you. You have to be a joker for us. So Samson is standing between these two pillars, and he prays to God one more time. He's weak, he's blind, all his hair is gone, he's really, really low, and he prays to God one final time, and he says, God, if you fill me with strength one more time, then I will take down all these Philistines, and the glory goes to you. So, even though Samson disobeyed God by, cutting off his hair, God decides to fill Samson with strength. So for one last time, Samson is as strong as he ever was, and he pushes these two pillars. You see that? He pushes the pillars next to him, and the whole building comes crumbling down, and it kills everyone. Every single Philistine in that building is dead. Unfortunately, Samson also dies. And the Bible tells us that in that single moment, he killed more people than he did when he was alive. So that's the story of Samson and Delilah. It's not a happy ending, for Samson anyway. What's the moral, do you think? What story can we learn from Samson and Delilah, except to keep your secrets to yourself and don't tell anyone? Any ideas? Should it be never cut your hair? No, that's not what we learn. Is it don't tear a line with your bare hands? No, that's not the lesson that we learn. So the lesson that we learn is that we are weak, but God is strong. So never rely on yourselves. Always go to God for strength, and pray that God gives it to you. Yeah? So that's the moral of the story. Okay. It's time to see which one of you are really listening. Guys ready? We've got a quiz coming up. Ready? Okay, so the first question is, which of the following did Samson do? Did he kill a bear with his own hands? Did he destroy an entire army using the jawbone of a donkey? Or did he set fire to a country? Yes.
He killed the bear.
Ooh, was it a bear that he killed? Or was it a lion?
It's a lion.
It was a lion. Good try though. Yeah?
Destroyed an entire army using a jawbone of a donkey.
Good job. Yeah, so remember that story I told you? He found the jawbone of a donkey and he killed an entire army with it. So that's what he did. Okay, does anyone remember how many pieces of silver was Delilah promised if she betrayed Samson? Yeah.
1,000?
1,000. Good job. You're really paying attention, weren't you? Good. Okay. Which of these did the Philistines do to Samson? Did they cut his fingers off? Did they take his eyes out? Did they break his legs, or did they cut his tongue out? Did they cut his fingers off? Take his eyes out? His eyes. Yeah, good job. That's what they did. Oh, okay. What was the source of Samson's strength? Was it eating spinach? Was it his beard, his hair, or sunlight? Okay, both of them, whichever one says it first.
His hair.
His hair. Were you going to say hair? Yeah, good. Okay, how many times did Samson lie to Delilah? 3 times, good job, yeah, and the 4th time he told her the truth. Oh, and last but not least, who were the people that were trying to kill Samson? Were they the Assyrians, the Israelites, the French, or the Philistines? First person to shout out the right answer.
Philistines.
Philistines. Good job. Yeah, well done. 100 marks to all of you.